Right, supporters took their fight to the state capitol. Hundreds of people rallied in Harrisburg today for what they billed as 2nd Amendment Action Day. It was organized by one of the state's most outspoken lawmakers on gun rights, Butler County Republican Darrell Metcalf. We're going to have more on the message protesters are sending a little later in the newscast.
He's on the way.
Thank you all for showing up. I want everybody, to the best of their ability, to picture an army marching in a long, ragged line. Uniforms in tatters, and all sense of martial glory long since discarded for anything that could offer protection from just the bitterly cold weather. Men marching through the howling winter wind, snow and sleet cutting through their threadbare clothes. Some didn't even have shoes, let alone combat boots. Yet these men soldiered forward the dark night with bloody rags wrapped around their feet. Behind them, they left the snow speckled red with their own blood. The hour was a desperate one. Less than 2,000 dedicated men remained, armed only with muskets they brought from home. They'd have to bring the battle to the enemy at very close range, using the bayonets that they scavenged from the battlefield earlier that summer. It was December 1776, the bleakest hour of our revolution. The year had been one of constant defeat. New York lost, New Jersey too. General George Washington's army had shrunk to this handful of diehards who refused to give up on a dream of a new birth of freedom, liberty, and independence. Ladies and gentlemen, this was the army that stunned the world and defeated the greatest military power of the time, the British Empire. Minimal rations and weather so bad that their muskets were rendered useless. The 2,400 men still left of General George Washington crossed the Delaware River that night and surprised the enemy in their bunks. And with a gallant charge into the streets of Trenton, they captured hundreds and secured one of the most unlikely military victories in the world's history. But more importantly, they galvanized the failing cause and ensured the creation of the United States of America, the greatest nation on the face of the planet. They struck a blow for freedom and showed that when oppression threatens to extinguish its hope, enough good men would risk everything to preserve it. Those men, half frozen, shivering in their rags, they are our heritage. Their resolve, our inheritance. It's a reminder that we as a people have never been daunted by desperate odds. It's a reminder that our mettle as a nation was forged in such moments. Ladies and gentlemen, we are the descendants of those soldiers who stayed steadfast in the darkest hour of our union's birth. You see, I look out upon this crowd and I see the sons and daughters of our revolution. I see families who take pride in their history of service, whether it's here at home or in uniform or on distant shores. I see that very same spirit and resolve that overcame every obstacle and adversity America has ever faced with unflinching devotion. You are the guardians and protectors of that spirit that was born on the battlefields of our revolution and built upon by every succeeding American generation. Saratoga, Yorktown, Gettysburg, Normandy, Chosin, Texas, Iraq, Afghanistan, And now our share of the legacy is melting into the past. That we all own. And it's the core of who we are as Americans. Our greatest strength is our strength of purpose in moments of great crisis. To see as civilians, it's our duty to preserve our precious republic, using our sacred right to vote, organize and speak freely to ensure the survival of our institution. As soldiers, members of the military, the oath that we gave was to defend the Constitution against all enemies. We are not agents of a regime, a dictator, or any government. Our duty has always been to those precious words. And without our blood, history would have swept those precious words away long ago. And we are all here today because those words are under assault again. But this time from within. The battle over the 2nd Amendment has been joined. While the Senate delivered a victory for the Constitution last week, war being waged against our inalienable rights as Americans is being prosecuted across our country in state legislatures and courtrooms. From California to Connecticut, our right to keep and bear arms has been steadily eroded. Without the political forces needed to actually change the Constitution, many have sought to marginalize the 2nd Amendment in every way possible. This is the new front line. The battle over the 2nd Amendment. The Constitution has faced countless threats over the last 2 centuries, and it has survived intact because each generation faced those threats and rose to defend its precious words. This is our generation's time to take a stand. For if we don't, and the 2nd Amendment falls, the First Amendment won't be far behind. If we lose this battle, we will embolden those who wish to remake America into something it was never meant to be. They will take heart that our resolve is not the measure of our legacy. And they will press their attack with renewed vigor, I promise you. They will capitalize on our weakness because our Constitution is strong only if we are willing to protect it in uniform and in civilian clothes. When the enemy reach our shores, if they ever do, it is our sacred duty to take the musket from the mantle and muster it for battle. Because our freedom was secured by rifles privately owned. The men who crossed the Delaware with our greatest leaders shouldered weapons that they learned to fire as children. They were rifles handed down from father to son, and each man taken one. Those rifles became a symbol